What is going on, YouTube? I'm Brandon. You are back in the Gilstrap garage, and I'm a little out of my element today. We've got a Honda Shadow. I don't remember if it's a 650, but I don't know. Like I said, way out of my element here. But I took this project on because one of my favorite things to watch on the old YouTube is Will It Run videos. There's a couple guys that do a lot of them. I really enjoy watching them. Been thinking to myself, if the opportunity presents itself on a bike, I want to do a Will It Run. Guy hit me up, said this bike has been sitting for a long time. Looking at the registration, it was last registered in 2014. So it's been a few years. The complaint that they had when they started messing with it is that the carburetor is stuck. Nothing's moving on the carburetor. You can move the throttle. So you move the throttle there. We're not getting anything moving on the carburetor. So it's not getting the right amount of fuel to it. The gas in here smells awful. Let's see if we can get this thing opened up. Or if we need the key. God, this thing's got more keys, more keyholes on it than my house does. Okay, pretty nifty, I guess. Oh, full tank too. Full tank of just bad gas. So for starters, we're gonna have to drain the fuel and pull the tank, which I think the tank might already be loose. I've looked at the battery. There's no ground cable on the battery. It's gonna be a little bit of a process on this one, but we're gonna get through it and we're gonna see if we can bring this thing to life. So the first thing I'm gonna do is hook up a little beer bong to drain the fuel out of there. But this doesn't fit. So I'm gonna heat up this end and soften it up, and it should expand it enough. Get me going. Now I've got the petcock shut off. I'm gonna stick this end of the hose down into a bucket. I'm gonna kind of set that up the best that I can, and I'm gonna pop this line off right here and drain it. Let me figure out how I'm gonna pop that off though, because that's pretty stuck on there. Now hopefully we don't need vacuum to get this to drain, which we might. Let me see here, since this tank's loose, let me see if something's already disconnected that I don't know about. It's not the line that I thought it was. Let's jump over and see. Okay, so this has a little clamp in here. I'm gonna get that out of the way, walk this clamp off. Maybe. Oh, there it is. Okay, line's off. Full of that bad gas. Oh man, that's terrible. Now I'm gonna put the fuel cap back on and see if I can lift this off. I don't know if this has a crossover line. Doesn't look like it. We'll see. All right, I've got the fuel cap back on. Let's see if she comes off. Oh, we've got some electrical that's gonna have to be disconnected. I gotta pull, I don't know if you can see me hitting it, little speedo assembly off and pop off a few wires. Pop these little guys off right here. I'm gonna start these bolts back in this hole so I don't lose them. And just let that hang off to the side. I'm gonna go back on the other side and try to get this thing taken off there. Okay, there's the tank full of bad gas. Alright, now let's jump back over to the other side. So this is going to be, actually while we're here, This looks like it's gonna be the vacuum to pull fuel in on the carburetor. Oh, okay. And this is the vacuum that opens the petcock. So a little vacuum operated switch, vacuum to the petcock, fuel supply. There's the choke. Man, if this carburetor has to come off of here, looks like we're in for it a little bit. So where do I even start? Oh, hey. Okay, so it moves, but it looks like there's a linkage broken inside. This is the accelerator pump. Yeah, we're gonna have to disconnect this guy and figure it all out. I don't like carburetors, and I don't like metric bikes. Not that they're not good bikes, they're just not up my alley, you know? I'm gonna turn this off and do a little thinking. Okay, messing with it, freeing stuff up. Kind of got parts moving, and it is spraying fuel. Not that it's good fuel. So I gotta do a little homework. I need to see if this is vacuum operated as well. That's my next check. Before I pull this off, we might get away with just cleaning that tank up, putting some fresh gas in it, trying to get this baby to pop off. That would be ideal, but it sounds better in theory, I think. So, little homework on the old Google there, and I'll be back with you. So I thought the ground strap was missing, but it's kind of just hanging off to the side here. So I'm gonna hook the battery up. I'm gonna see if this thing will crank or if we're gonna have to throw it on a charger. They told me they've had this thing over at some shops, and the guy they were taking it to just kept replacing batteries and replacing batteries because it would sit forever. They couldn't fix it, the battery would die. I guess I could see what the voltage is too. That would tell me, but we'll just try to crank it. We'll see what we get. Okay, we got lights. Let's try to crank. Oh, that was cool. First try? That wasn't even YouTube editing magic. Let me get a way to spray some gas in there. All right, so I took one of my big syringes and I just kind of stuffed it in here, zip tied it up so it holds. I'm gonna splash a little gas in here. Maybe. My gas tank's a little low. She's drinking it. See how she does. She's spraying fuel. You know what I didn't do is check the oil. Before I go too crazy, I guess I should do that. She's got oil. Don't smell funny. Give her a choke. She's good in there. We just got to get some of that bad gas out. Well, I could sit there and spray it all day long and keep it running like that. The valve in there, I don't even know what to call it. I'm not too great with carburetors. As you give it some throttle, it's lifting up on its own, so it tells me it's vacuum operated like I was suspecting. And I didn't find any information online that confirmed yes or no. But what it tells me with it not picking up its own fuel supply is that there's probably an issue with the accelerator pump. That would be my guess, but again, I'm not a carburetor guru. So I think what we're gonna have to do is buy a carburetor rebuild kit, which I hate rebuilding carburetors. But we'll buy a kit and then get it all thrown in there and see if we can make some magic happen. Or maybe I take it off of there and clean it up a little bit and I can get something to work. I don't know. I'm gonna try to find a breakdown on this carburetor and see what it looks like to me. So I'll come up with some answers soon. So what I'm thinking now, this carburetor is gonna have to come off and get cleaned, most likely. But I wanted to pop out parts of this accelerator pump. This is the accelerator pump here. I want to pop these 3 screws out and see what it's looking like in there. And I still have my fuel hooked up on the other side. I'm hoping I don't spill a bunch of fuel right now. Hoping I don't tear the seal in here. Oh, that came flying out of there. Still full of bad gas mixed with a little new gas. Let me get some rags and stick them under there. See if she picks anything up. Okay, we're not spraying anymore. What I need to pay attention to when this thing tries to start too is if this is actuating. Looks like there's a little needle in there too that could be pretty plugged up. I'm gonna try to find like a soft piece of a brush or something and see if I can poke that out and clean it up. So that little passageway in there was actually plugged up. Set that spring back in there. Hoping this thing reseals. She's spraying again, but not very strong. Oh, that was a good one. Okay, so when this goes all the way up, then you depress, it's got a nice steady stream. It's like it's not keeping up though. Let's try to start it again and see what she does. Oh, she started to spray a little. I'm almost out of fuel over there. For a second. Yeah, she ain't spraying again, so it's gonna be time for a good cleaning and rebuild. I'm gonna have to order some parts up for that. All right, we're back on this. What I gotta do, because I have scoured the internet for parts and I'm kind of getting mixed information, is I need to pull this off, see what part numbers I can get off of it, confirm the year and everything. I mean, it says 04, which that may be my issue because I think I've been searching for an 05. But I need to confirm that I'm looking for the right parts because a lot of what I've seen is dual carburetors and the kits are kind of expensive. I don't want to buy something that we don't need. So I'm gonna pull the carburetor off, which should be a simple enough task, and then confirm parts, see if I can clean a lot of this and just replace gaskets rather than replace everything. Try to keep it cost efficient. I think we can make it work for not too much money. Let's get it off. See if I can do this without my big old head blocking the way. Well, I'm gonna need a longer screwdriver, it looks like. Let me get some pictures so I remember how all this stuff goes. Yeah, I gotta go to the other side and undo the choke. Okay, choke's undone. Let me rethread that. I'm gonna take this bracket off for the throttle cables rather than trying to adjust them, because I don't have any of the procedures on adjusting these. So my idea is gonna be to slack them this way and not have to readjust them later. Okay, there's that. Now it looks like all we have left on here is some kind of throttle position sensor, maybe right here. Let me spin the camera around. Kind of far away, but just a little Torx, maybe like a T25 or something. We'll pop that sensor off, and the carburetor should be free. Oh no, we've got another line down here too. Couple. Oh, she's a leaker. Oh, is that coolant? Is there coolant that runs through the carburetor? What the So those lines are pretty high up. It shouldn't drain too much. Let's see what happens. I got a pan underneath. Ugh, Jesus. As long as it doesn't siphon, we'll be alright. That's how we'll fix that. Stick a bolt in there. Put the clamp back on. There she is, like an hour later. The carburetor is off. That's really weird though. I need a trace where that line goes, because I cannot imagine that there's supposed to be coolant that runs to this. Oh no, there's the overflow. So the one that didn't leak is the overflow to the radiator. That one, why does that run to the top of the intake? I've never seen anything like that. That's why I work on Harleys only. That's friggin' weird. But let's get ready to break this carb down. Alright, we are finally going to tear this thing down. Let me get some rags. Let's get after her. So we'll start with the accelerator pump. I need my magnet tray. All the screws will go in the magnet tray. This is parts cleaner here. Not necessarily carburetor cleaner, but parts cleaner anyway. Oh, look how nasty. Wow. I don't really do a lot of carburetors, especially ones that have sat for a long time like this. So why is that green in there? Is that moldy? Is that moldy fuel, or is that just, does gas do that when it's bad? I don't know. Oh wow, look, this jet is completely clogged up. That works. Now, I have new jets, but I'm just gonna, oh my God. I'm gonna throw them in here anyway. Lordy Lord. Let's pop the top. And just for my own record, my own reference, the tab was closest to the choke, huh? Hey! My screw went flying in there? Yep. Okay, now I gotta be careful with this because that dang kit didn't come with a new one. Look at how gunked up that needle is. Now I don't really want to leave this seal part in that fluid, so I'll put the bottom side in there, kind of scrub that up by hand. Yeah, you can see just how gummed up, how nasty all of this is. I'd imagine this thing will run like a top when we're done here. Okay, I've got this jet down in here. Whew, buddy. That's scary. Okay, so we're gonna count the turns out. I don't know if it's fully seated or not. Half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 5.5, and it unseated. Drop that in the old cleaner. Let's take the choke assembly out. Let's see what happens when I spray her. It's spraying nice. All right, now I'll let it sit, let it soak, scrub it, rinse, wash, repeat till we're ready to go back together. So I pull the float off. I'm just gonna get ready to start scrubbing this thing up with a semi-soft brush, cleaning up and spraying out and repeating. I don't know, this video footage might suck. I may not even include it. You can see the amount of deposits that have built up in here. Just all the floaties and crap. try to leave some of it in there. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. But quite a bit of crap. So I would have liked to find a kit that came with everything, all the internals completely new. Only things I could find were on Amazon, like some no-name Chinese kits, and I just don't really trust them. I've ordered one before for a Harley CV carburetor, and that thing never ran right after I put that kit in there. Now this all balls kit is from China. You can see here, all balls, part number 411765, made in China, but they've at least got quality control. I wish I had a parts manual for this bike so I knew exactly what went where. Alright, we're back. But probably not for very long, because I think I'm going to have to turn on some of my footage that I got saved on the camera here to see where I took some of these jets and stuff out of. Like seriously, I don't know what all that green stuff is. Is it algae? Is it mold? Alright, that gasket's not being too kind to me. I'm gonna have to look back right now and see what jet I'm putting where. I'm gonna scrub this up a little bit first. Alright, got the carburetor all back together. I did have an issue when I first put it in. We were leaking a bunch of fuel from the center of the carb. I took the bottom back off and played with the float valve a little bit, and that issue has resolved itself. You can see I got my syringe full of fuel, and we're gonna try to crack this thing off and see if it stays running under its own power. God, I hope so, because I'm done working on this thing. All right, here we go. Let's try to choke it. Losing battery power. There goes the battery. Time to charge it. Damn. Check it out, she's idling under her own power. Still pretty cold. See if I can take the choke off. Nope. Keep a little choke on there. Oh, a little more choke. This thing idle for a little bit and warm up, and then it'll be time to deal with all the bad gas that's in that tank and put the tank back on and get it sent home. All right, well, it's been a minute since I've messed with this bike, and I don't even really remember where I left off on this video. I gotta give it a little bath, but it went on its first ride yesterday. It is it's not too happy with the cold weather. It takes a while to warm up, but once it does, man, she scoots. It goes a little scary because there's not a lot of tread on those tires. The front suspension is pretty shot out, but the bike is back from the dead, ready to find a new owner. So If you guys like that video, that kind of revival video, that back from the dead, will it run kind of deal, let me know, because I had a good time doing it, even though it wasn't a Harley. Prefer to do the Harley only stuff, because it was a little bit of a learning curve, but I'm always up for a challenge, you know what I mean? So thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. This thing's about to go home, so the bike could be yours. I'll get you the information if you're interested. Thanks for watching. Bye. She's a runner. Quiet, but overall, she ain't that bad. This girl ain't too happy in that cold weather, but she's good nonetheless.